9 days post-op ER visit for elevated blood pressure. So, who knew that you can develop preeclampsia postpartum? I didn't know that. Not to say that that's what I have because they're still running tests, but that is one of the things that they're concerned with. So while I was at home this morning, about 5 o'clock this morning, I woke up to get Harlem and I had a headache. So that prompted me to change my blood pressure or to check my blood pressure. I always associate headaches with with high blood pressure. So I checked it. It was 153 over 103 or 104. So I took Tylenol to get rid of the headache, of course. And I fed Harlem, changed Harlem, lay back down, and I checked my blood pressure again at 8 o'clock, and it was still elevated. Not the exact same number, but it was around the same numbers. So I sent my doctor a portal, and I let her know what my blood pressure was. So she wanted me to check it again and get back with her to tell her what it was. So I checked it over every hour up until 12, and then I went to sleep, took a nap. It was still elevated. I kind of went to Dr. Google and tried to figure out the symptoms or what causes your blood pressure to rise suddenly, because I don't have any swelling in my legs, my feet, my hands, my base. At least I don't think so. I don't have any swelling anywhere, so that's not one of the symptoms that I have. Literally, it was just a slight headache, which is what prompted me to check it. So I didn't want to be at home self-diagnosing, so I went on ahead and came in to the ER. So they're checking my total blood count. They're checking for protein in my urine, because I did give them a urine sample. They're also going to check what did she say? Oh, they did an EKG on me, which was normal. So my last BP was 142 over 82. So it's kind of come down. I did look up maybe hydration, because I think I'm really dehydrated. And the only reason why I think that is because I haven't really been drinking a lot of fluids. So this morning I did go in on the water, and Corey went to the grocery store and got me some Gatorades. So I've been drinking a lot of Gatorades just to replenish my, boost up my electrolytes. But the blood work that they took would tell me if I'm in fact dehydrated. So that's on top of me also breastfeeding. I know that because I'm breastfeeding, I have to stay hydrated, which my milk production is fine, so I'm not sure. I guess we will see. I'm not going to speculate. I'll wait for the results, and then I'll update you guys at that time. I was pretty nervous, I would say, to come in, because I was scared that they would say, oh, we're going to have to keep you, because I don't want to be away from Harlem already. So, but I don't think it's going to come to that. Hopefully we do have answers, not that I want something to be wrong, but I do want an answer as to why my blood pressure is now kind of elevated after an entire 9 months of being pregnant. I didn't have one issue with my blood pressure. It was never elevated during my entire pregnancy. So, but I'll be back with an update as soon as they bring me my results. Alright guys, so it's been a few days, and all of my tests actually came back negative. So I didn't have any protein in my urine. There was nothing in my blood that suggests why why my blood pressure is being elevated. So they sent me home, of course, which I'm fine with, because I have a 9-day-old baby at home that I wanted to get back to anyway. So my doctor told me to just keep the ER doctor told me to just keep my appointment, my 2-week appointment, which was set for 2 days after that, which I'll tell you guys about that in a little bit. which so and to keep track of my blood pressure. So I kept continuing to take my blood pressure. I was checking it 3 to 4 times a day, which it was still being elevated. So I came home, just continued to drink my water, continued to drink my Gatorade, and I was fine throughout the day. My hemoglobin was a 9, which when I left the hospital, it was a 10. So, but they said that that's not alarming to them because obviously I just had a baby, just had a C-section, I lost a lot of blood. So they're not concerned with that either. Well, it's not a huge concern to them. So fast forward 2 days later was my 2-week post-op appointment with my OB doctor. And she, I had lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks at that appointment. So yay for me, because I'm really trying to get this baby weight off of me and get back to where I was before all the IVF medication, because the IVF medication puts weight on you before you even get pregnant. So I was really happy to see that I lost the 20 pounds in 2 weeks. So kudos to me. Also, I didn't opt in to do any birth control because literally since 2006, I had not had so much as a pregnancy scare. And we have to go through so much going through the IVF to even conceive Harlem that I didn't opt to do any birth control. So when my doctor said that she has had plenty of people who like spontaneously get pregnant after they do IVF, but I just don't think that's going to be the case with me. So I didn't want any birth control. Plus I think birth control kind of helps you like put pounds on. So that's that. She did say to me that she and the doctor who delivered my baby, because she was not at the hospital at that time, she was in the clinic when it was time for me to give birth, and she couldn't get there in time. So another doctor delivered Harlem, and it was a male doctor. I was very comfortable with him as well. He did tell me the next day that I lost a lot of blood. My bladder was actually stuck to my uterus, so he had to peel my bladder off of my uterus to even cut into my uterus to get Harlem out. So once Harlem was out, he said he had a time getting my placenta out because my placenta was so stuck and attached to my uterine wall. He had a hard time getting it out, so he had to fight to get it out. I did lose a lot of blood. But this is stuff also that he didn't tell me until the next day when I was fine and out of surgery, obviously. So he told me all this the next day. So him and my doctor had a discussion about it, and they suggest that I strongly would think about carrying again if I wanted more children. Well, the thing is yes, we have another embryo left, and we would love to try for that embryo as well. But after talking with Corey about it, I just don't feel like it's the safest thing to do. So it's, still a topic of conversation as to what we're going to do with our last embryo. We're not close to surrogacy. I think surrogacy is a beautiful thing. I applaud women who do it. But I don't know about surrogacy. So it's something that I'm going to have to look into and do a little research on before I can say, okay, yeah, let's do surrogacy. If surrogacy is something that we just can't afford, then, because I do know that our insurance, I believe, does not cover anything that has to do with surrogacy. So I'm going to have to research, how does it work? If we don't do surrogacy and we're unable to use our last embryo, then we are going to donate our last embryo, because there are many women who are worse off than I am, meaning I have my ovaries, and there are women who don't have their ovaries that can't produce the eggs to retrieve. And there's also same-sex marriages or same-sex couples who want children as well. So we're going to donate the embryo if we can't do surrogacy, because I just absolutely cannot carry again. My life would be put at risk if I was to carry and give birth again. And I'm not willing to take that risk because I do have two children at home who need their mother. So that's that. Phone died. What's new? I can't say that I am not shocked to have gotten that news from my doctor, because I don't know. I just kind of felt a certain way towards the end of the pregnancy. I just felt like it was a lot on my body. It was tearing my body down. So, but here it is 4 days since I've been in the hospital. I do feel a lot better. My doctor did tell me to lighten up on the caffeine. So I've taken caffeine out of my diet completely. She did tell me that caffeine kind of elevates your blood pressures. So I took caffeine out of my diet completely, and I'm just sticking to the water and my Gatorade right now to kind of get my blood pressure under control. Because I don't want to say never, because you should never say never, but I haven't had blood pressure issues in the past, before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and I don't want them now after pregnancy. So that is my update. Just wanted to update you guys on my ER visit 9 days post-op.